Now I'm going to get emotional. I literally am. I've been doing this my whole career. When I started nearly 40 years ago, it was really more referred to as industrial marketing. Now, today, it's marketing for B2B.
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 B2B. B2B.
B2B stands for business to business. The company that makes things not to sell to you, but to sell to other companies. And it functions at a system-wide level. They're all over the world. They touch everyone's lives. And you probably don't know who most of them are. But of course you should know about them, because the challenges in every conceivable level of society, from income inequality, food security, cybersecurity, climate change, all of these, literally all of these will be solved by B2B. And that's what I've been fighting for, to tell the story of B2B, because I think it's worth it. And I think it's time. More than a couple people have told me that I look like Paul Giamatti. I don't get that, but it's fine. How about, Paul, you look like Tom Stein. My role at Cannes this year is pretty extraordinary. I'm the jury president for the Creative B2B Lion. Cannes Lion is it's the ultimate festival of creativity in the advertising and marketing world. This fairy tale place in the south of France where all of the agencies and the brands come together every year in celebration of the very best work that's out there. And if you are recognized for being the best, you get the Grand Prix. Whether that's B2B or B to anything, Cannes is it. Important things happen and new directions emerge. Trends take root here. It serves a purpose as a catalyst for ideas and a catalyst for making all of us better. But B2B has never been there as a category. And I'll tell you why not, honestly, because Cannes didn't think the work was good enough, that the creativity in the space wasn't worthy until a year ago. Cannes is 70 years old, the B2B Lion's brand new award.
I'm Andisa Nsubane. Hello. Dumelang, Absheni, Karibu, Jambo, Etiseng. Welcome to the continent of Africa. Cannes Lions invited me to be a jury member this year in the B2B category. I think they appreciate the diversity of views and inputs and the value that that brings. It's important that Africa is a part of the story. Back in the days in South Africa, we had the apartheid system, so black people and white people weren't allowed to be together. And I was the only black person in my class, so I was always different. That always has impacted me and how I think. I'm the CMO of Vodacom Group, which is part of Vodafone, one of the largest telecommunications companies in the world. From a B2B perspective, we're very focused on mining, healthcare, financial services. We provide technology and IT solutions for small, medium enterprises. So small, medium enterprises are very, very important for the growth, not just in South Africa, but on the African continent. And today, here I am at Cannes as a jury member, like the World Cup of creativity. I mean, wow. In the B2B category, we had over 500 entries from around the world, all fighting to get into gold, silver, or bronze. And then you have the Grand Prix, which is the ultimate walking on water award. It's just unbelievable that it took 68 years before B2B was recognized as a category, even after the first Grand Prix ever awarded in Cannes was for a B2B story. This is a great story. Have you ever heard of Put Una Money for There? The B2B animated film. In 1956, farmers in West Africa had reservations about putting their money into banks. So these farmers went without the benefits of banking. There was a small agency in London called Larkin Studios who were briefed with coming up with a concept to help farmers make sure that they bank their money with Barclays Bank, which was a B2B campaign. What they were trying to do was to create awareness of the benefits of farmers banking with Barclays, like keeping their money safe and earn a bit of interest. Larkin Studios asked an African man by the name of Sam Akpabot to come up with a song for this creative concept. Way back in 1956, Barclays understood the importance of finding somebody local who understood the local market that could resonate.
I was walking into an advertising agency one day, and then there was an older man who was sharing an office. When I came in, he said, "Oh, you're Sam Akpabot. Your father did the commercial, Put Una Money for There." So that was the first time I heard it.
Would you like to see it?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's see what's in it.
So have you ever seen it before?
No. This is gonna be the first time, yes. Can we watch it?
Yeah.
Okay, why not? Let's do it.
B2B marketing has a rep as being dull. It's very factual. Our thing does this, and this, and it can be dull. We can't change it if we don't own it, right? B2B needs to be less self-effacing. B2B should be exuberant, exciting, emotional. It should be an exclamation point.
In particular in B2B marketing, there was this notion that everything has to be very orderly. Like we're selling to a business, a logo, a building, but we're selling to people. There is a human on the other end that has a problem. Cybersecurity is a very serious, mission-driven industry. It is the most existential threat of our generation. I firmly believe that. The story of cybersecurity is one of good versus evil, fundamentally at its core. The adversary could be a hacking group.
A massive cyber attack affecting nearly 50 million Facebook users.
Could be a nation state, North Korea.
China's hacked critical U.S. infrastructure
to stall military deployments by cutting off power communications or water supplies.
It's the government, it's the big banks. Every single company, even if you are a small business, you need cybersecurity. For me, the chief marketing officer, our job is to be the storyteller for the company. And so we actually went to a special effects agency the same one that does work on Marvel Comics, and we had them help us reimagine our adversaries. We didn't want to make them look powerful or strong. We wanted to make them look sinister and villainous and weak. And the Super Bowl is a fantastic opportunity to go and tell that story. Running a Super Bowl ad was, some would say, a pretty gutsy move. Very few B2B companies had done it. We want to see our Doritos ad. Like, why are we showing cybersecurity? How do we tell our story in a very simple, relatable way of this story of good versus evil, who the adversaries are and what they're targeting and who they're targeting and why and how to stop them?
They're back! The adversaries are back!
Not again.
Today's adversaries move fast. CrowdStrike moves faster.
What do you call that? The future.
People that were exposed to our ad, there was a 60% conversion improvement. That's real. Demand generation, because now it's familiar, and now they're forming an opinion, and there's an intent, and there's an interest to go learn more. If CrowdStrike is successful in telling its story, the world is a safer place. That's the power of B2B marketing.
And so our next step is to make sure that a renaissance in creativity occurs in B2B, to elevate ourselves to that level of recognition.
Tom Stein is truly a lighthouse for B2B globally. The godfather of B2B.
The Chairman and Chief Growth Officer of Stein IAS Global, Tom Stein.
He was instrumental in advocating for B2B to become its own category at Cannes, and he will have the privilege and honor of awarding the Grand Prix. And saw the opportunity in B2B almost 35 years ago when he started his own agency.
I think I recognize that there are large businesses operating in the world because of my dad. It's impossible not to be romantic about baseball. When I was a kid, I'd be there waiting for Dad to come home after his long day, like a puppy, with my baseball glove in one hand, his baseball glove in the other hand, and when he was getting out of the car, he was going to play baseball and have a catch with me, and he did every single time. I love going to baseball games. Who would have taken me there? Big guess. My dad. Being in Yankee Stadium, just being in the stands, 55,000 other people, a vast expanse. How does that all happen? So, how about the field itself? How about the dirt? I mean, there's dirt and then there's dirt. That's not just any dirt, that's a mixture of clay and dirt. How about the grass? It's not your everyday lawn. There's a B2B company or companies somewhere that are formulating that, and that ultimately that sell it to a baseball club, which that's not a consumer transaction, it's all B2B. The seats, 40,000 seats in the stadium that fold up and down. The food, the ketchup, that's a B2B transaction, and that's specifically B2B ketchup. It's not consumer ketchup. The dugouts that are constructed out of materials, huge lights at the top of the stadium so you can watch the game at night, the cameras that are broadcasting, the computers and the digital apparatus that the journalists are using to cover this, and the subways that people ride to get to the stadium, the parking lots. I mean, that's B2B. Oh, Dad, come on. Let me watch the game, all right? There may be some relation between having exposure to what's going on behind the scenes of a business and where I ended up. Some decades later, in my mid-20s, I was doing very well in the job that I had. I was getting promoted, they liked me, they wanted me to stay. And I said, you know, I can do better than this. So I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna start a B2B agency. And I was scared to death to talk to my dad about this. He'd worked for the same company pretty much his whole life. You know, very loyal to the company, and I thought he would maybe think I was being a little reckless and throwing something away that I had barely started to do something that was kind of a moonshot. Starting an agency, you've never worked at an agency. Why would you do that? Give up a job that you have a great career ahead of you. I was scared to death of my ambition, but off I went. If there's anything that I truly believe in, it's that if you want to make a difference, you'd work for a B2B company. And if you're into marketing, you'd work in the marketing organization of that company because that's going to be the communications mechanism for that. We've been building to this point and building to this point and growing in our true sense of ourselves.
How familiar are you with Squarespace?
Oh, I'm not. This is for Squarespace. What, can you say your question again? Sorry.
I'm not.
The whole B2B industry is catching up.
What about the delays and the lack of a
Fix
shipment?
that too.
Hidden fees?
Fixed.
Hey, corporate types, will you stop calling each other rock stars?
You're a rock star. You are.
We are worthy to be on stage with B2C guys. B2B marketers want to take big bets and are getting so much attention that it inspires the rest of us to keep doing it. There's still more people who want to do TV commercials for a soda company than want to, help sell cloud technology for a technology company. If I'm a marketer and I have a chance to sell cereal, probably full of sugar, or I have a chance to help a company succeed in transforming the sustainability agenda by virtue of what it does, I think it's an easy choice. Cereal, of course, is the answer.
We are living a very critical situation. Climate crisis. My name is Camila Valverde. I'm COO of UN Global Compact Brazil Local Network. UN Global Compact is the biggest sustainability initiative in the world. It was created to work with the companies because in the same way the companies has the responsibility for the bad impact, they are the only solutions.
They spent a couple of hours talking to us about this initiative. As an advertising agency, we were like, oh, yes, we definitely want to help you guys.
We had a goal to increase the number of companies. So how can we do this?
Historically, B2B was more rational. Like, okay, I need to prove you and to use this part of your brain.
But at the end of the day,
everybody's human, everybody has a heart. We just have to get the people's heart.
My creative team, they said, we want to do something like comparing Earth, the planet, with a company, because if someone is CEO of this company, probably he's very worried because it's almost bankrupt. And then I said, okay, maybe there's a bigger idea here.
The pitch was launching the Earth as a company, doing the IPO of the Earth, and invite the companies to invest on it. Invest in Earth.
You can be part of something. You can own this thing. Because that's not just somebody else's problem, it's your problem.
This is such a clever idea, such a different idea, that from the first moment, this client said,
wow, my God, let's do this.
It's not just about having one idea. Execution plays a big role. How are we gonna do that? That is as important as the idea.
There were so many people involved in this project.
We try to develop, like, okay, what is the most appropriate place to launch it, the stock exchange.
So the risk was going there and saying, hey, can you help us making the IPO of this company? The answer would be, what?
Here at B3, we do believe that we have the power to encourage the private sector to play an active role regarding the environment. It's impossible for our government to do everything alone. So we thought that it was genius. It was the first time that we had a fake IPO, and we decided, well, let's not go fake, let's make it real. We can invite the companies, we can invite the private sector, we can invite the media, and we had to make a noise. And we did the real thing, the real IPO from end to end.
The day we decided to launch, we were very nervous. I had butterfly in my stomach.
I had never been to the ceremony where they ring the bell, and there were so few people, and I was very nervous. Half an hour later, this room was full of people. There was a huge crowd. Press, business leaders, the main TV stations in Brazil, of the main newspapers, and also representatives of diversity groups, indigenous people. This room was crowded. And I was like, this is really for real. They were there not for fun, they were there for an important moment.
De fato, desde quando a gente começou essa empreitada, não a Terra, mas a gente como humanidade, a gente veio impactando muito fortemente o nosso planeta, né?
We presented a video that says, this company has awful results, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. This company is dying.
Por favor, invista na Terra. Obrigado.
So it was moving them, making them thinking about it in a different way. Wow.
We were on the main stage at Cannes for the B2B Creative Lions. The decade started on that stage in that moment.
B2B wins the Grand Prix. Ótimo trabalho, parabéns. Ana BBDO, São Paulo.
This is B2B's decade.
When people talk about marketing, they're thinking about only the marketing that could help the companies to sell something. But marketing is not only this. Marketing is a way to mobilize minds.
So B2B needs more than its fair share of the great talent of the world, the great young talent that's coming into the business. We need those folks.
Each time you impact a company, you impact the whole system. And this is big. This has a big power.
That's the future. Using creative to change the world.
Believe it or not, this was the first Grand Prix ever awarded in Cannes in 1956. Think about it. Creatives from around the world, from New York to London, didn't get it right. And a 25-year-old Nigerian created the magic ingredient. Sam Akpabot demonstrated that creativity can actually come from anywhere in the world.
He was the best man for the job. Winning a Cannes Award, it's a great achievement. my dad is an inspiration. His legacy will continue to live on. To everyone who's coming up in marketing and advertising, it doesn't matter where you come from anywhere in the world, regardless of what language you speak, you can do it.
Can you imagine how difficult it must have been for this British company to find Sam Akbabot? Like, there wasn't LinkedIn and social media and, hey, I'll just ping him. And if you think about it, they found each other and created magic. So I think we've got to use the technology that we have at our fingertips today to find creatives from around the world. Who is the next Sam Akbabot?
Wow. To be on the Palais stage representing the B2B world that I am so proud to be part of, it's incredible. It's incredible, and I've actually I've thought about my father a lot this week. When I started my company, I was scared to death to talk to my dad about this, that he would look down on me starting a B2B agency. I wouldn't like that. No. He said, go for it. You know, you have to do this, Tom. I never did this. And I wouldn't have known how to do it. And you do. So you do it. I'm right there. And he was there every step of the way. I would come to visit. What he'd always want to hear is, how's the business going? How's it growing? He did such a good job of taking care of me. And then I had to take care of him. And I hope I did a good job. If he had lived long enough to experience with me Cannes, he would be so proud of me. He'd be bursting with pride. You know, I would never want to hang on too long and not be as relevant. Happily, I'll be passing it on to a lot of people. So many people who want to keep that flame lit and actually make it burn brighter. And if I've done some little thing, that's it. Good, it's great. But they'll take it and do so much more with it. They will, as they should.
When I got the text from Tom, I first thought he sent it to the wrong guy. He said, would I consider being the jury president of the B2B category in this year's Cannes Lions? I was absolutely blown away. I can't explain the absolute roller coaster of emotions as he delivered that message. And it was truly a humbling experience to hear the godfather of B2B telling me that he thinks that I have what it takes to guide and lead the next jury. And here I am today, one of the first Black presidents of a jury in Cannes.
To my fellow jurists, the second ever B2B Creative Lions at Cannes. This one will be better than the first.
Absolutely.
Cheers to you both.
Cheers.
Oh, with a lot of sand on my glass. B2B sand.
and 3 farmers. We take them good to sell for the market, then get big money, and they left for go home. Won't carry money to go for him village. He make him plenty plum, so other people come and they borrow everything. Barclays Bank, farmers put on money for them. Barclays Bank, go save plenty there. Another farmer put his own money for ground, but thief steal 'em for night and eat some too.